Hello everybody, I'm Slow Rider, this is my world. Bit of a dull day, you know, I was riding this morning. Bright sunshine, beautiful at 5 AM. Let's have a dart up here. 20 miles an hour. So, unbelievably, despite having had a number of weeks to sort out my Scottish adventure footage, it took me all those weeks to actually sort it out, and even then I had to take some shortcuts and not look at all the footage. There's just too much of it. It's like 6 hours riding, well, 5 to 6 hours riding each day. 3 cameras, 2 of which were 360 cameras, and they have this ruddy awful file system that you can't just upload it to the computer, you've got to then convert it into something else, and oh, it was a pain in the rear, it really was. Anyway, yeah, so no rest for the wicked, as they say. So not a lot of time to update anything either. Not a lot of time to record footage or anything like that. Such is the way of things. So no real thought gone into this one. It's been complicated slightly actually by having a few camera issues when I actually got back, annoyingly. The first of them was that the reset button on the camera was broken. Now this shouldn't be a problem if cameras actually worked properly. Unfortunately this one doesn't, and it likes to freeze up every so often. That's one of the downsides of the drift cameras, I find, is that they just freeze. And it happened in Scotland where it froze on day 2, right at the most inopportune moment I could have done with the camera working. But yes, when I got back, charging it up, and it just decided to freeze up, which was nice. Couldn't reset it because the reset button had been, I guess, pushed in too far. I don't know whether I did it on that attempt to reset it or on a previous attempt, I don't know. But yeah, the reset button wasn't there. It's in the camera somewhere. I can hear it rattling around. But yeah. Anyway, so that was the first problem with it, and then, well, there'll be a video coming up on a little toy I've got, which has meant that I had to disconnect the microphone from the camera, and when I put it back together it's not recording anything. It's sound-wise, video it's recording, but sound it's not. It's like it recognises that there's an external microphone there, it's just not recording the sound. That's annoying. That's very annoying. So yeah, lots of annoying things happening, but I'm trying to stay upbeat. You know, trying to stay upbeat. I know not everyone likes my tour videos, and you know, that's fair enough. You know, each to their own. Thank you to those who did watch it, though. It's an interesting pattern, is that the first day or two videos got, like, you know, a reasonable amount of views, and then they dropped off, and I'm thinking, well, yeah, I mean, that's because people have got bored of it or whatever. It's perfectly natural, I don't mind. And then the last day's video got a massive number of views again. I have no idea. I have no idea. The average view time has gone up on that one. It's weird. Very weird, don't understand it. What else has happened? What else has happened? Well, I was out riding my Sprint the other day. I'm going to get some grief for this, I know. I was out riding my Sprint the other day. Riding it occasionally just to keep the battery topped up, as I do with all my bikes. But I had to go and feed a friend's cat because they've gone on holiday. And the bike smells. It smells bad. it smells burny bad. Something is combusting, which is not nice. I don't know what it is yet. Took it straight down to a Triumph dealership. And I know sometimes you'll get some workshops and dealerships will try and sell you anything. I'm reasonably sure that this person is not trying to sell me everything. You can never be too sure. But yeah, he thinks it's the rectifier or the regulator, one of the two. I'm not convinced, if I'm completely honest, but it is a common issue for that bike, so there might be something in it. We shall see. I guess they can have a look and try and work it all out. While they're doing that though, I've decided, as there's a service due on it coming up, I'll leave it in their capable hands and they can do that. And they've said it's a big service, it needs this, that and the other, and yes, they might be trying to sell me a big service. At the end of the day though, it suits me to have that big service because it means that all the stuff's done. And it's done by people who are paid to get it right. And being a Triumph dealership, they have I would consider that they have a name to uphold. So we'll see how it goes. It doesn't always work like that, and I've heard some terrible things about McLaren dealerships. Anyway, so yeah, so it's all the regular things for your service, you know, your oils and whatnot, and the airbox and so on and so forth. They're changing the oil in the front fork seals, which, okay. He seemed perfectly happy with how the suspension was, but you know. In a way, I'd rather there was, you know, sort of a definite balance. The forks were properly balanced and whatnot. So yeah, that's been done. Coolant's being changed. Brake fluid's being changed. Brake pads being changed. The discs are relatively new, so they're not touching them. I don't know. Stay here for now. Going different ways. Gosh darn it. When are you turning left? There, right rather. There you go. I got left on the mind. Yeah, so they're doing all that funky stuff. There's loads of fluids they're changing. They're going to try and look at what the actual fault is that's causing the burning smell. See if we can't fix that. He was rather interested in the exhaust actually, because he confirmed it's an original exhaust, which is grand, he said, but it shouldn't sound like that, he says. It shouldn't sound like that at all. Oh, okay. So he thinks that it's had a different exhaust on at some point. So they might correct that. They're not going to charge me for that, I don't think. I hope they're not. I haven't asked for it. I'm happy for it to sound awesome, frankly, but, well, you know, we'll see. Yeah, they think that it's had a different exhaust on, and when they've come to sell it, they've taken that exhaust off to sell separately. Not unreasonable thought process for that. I can see that being true. They're also going to have a look at the rear hub. This is something I asked them to do, because I have a feeling it's relatively seized. And it may be from having stood for a while, but more than neglect. So rear hub service being done. Hopefully that's not too much work, otherwise that could get expensive. But anyway, yes, so that's the Sprint side of things. I still think that I've got a decent buy there, and the chap in the shop asked me how much I spent. He went, oh, that's pretty reasonable. So, you know, I don't know if that actually means anything or not, but I'm reasonably happy with what I got it for. And even though the service and, you know, well, the bike service and the hub service and all the other things is probably going to end up costing me about £2,000, you know, once they've fixed the problem with the burning smell, got any parts for that, it's probably going to cost me the thick end of £2,000. But that's including a service, which in itself is several £100s. So I'm not going to include that in the cost of things totally. So we're probably looking at £4,000 to £4,500 that I spent on the bike. It could end up being a money pit. I'm not ruling out that possibility. But I don't care. I'm one of these people. I mean, okay, yeah, there is a limit to how much I can spend on it. There's a point at which I'm going to have to say, do you know what, it's not worth it. But I'm not doing this up to sell it. I'm not doing this up to make a profit. I'm not, you know, this is going to be the bike that I ride. So I'm happy to spend a bit of money on it to make sure it's in good working order. The blemishes on the bodywork we can deal with at a later date. I'm not too fussed about that. Yeah, I'm reasonably happy. The only downside of this going into the shop is that, as I may have mentioned in a previous video, it's summertime. Everyone wants their bike serviced. Everyone wants to go out and buy a bike. It has to be prepared by mechanics and so on and so forth. And yeah, sometimes Triumphs last a while, and you know, there are big services due on a number of bikes. In fact, one of the things that was said was that you know, the date they were going to book it in, there was already a big service due on that day, and he was like, I don't really want to do two in one day because that ties up all the mechanics. So it's been done a couple of days earlier on the hopes that we don't need any parts, that they've got all the parts in they need. He's reasonably confident that he does. But the downside of it is, therefore, that it's in 2 to 3 weeks' time. Actually, probably closer to 2 weeks now. At the point of recording. Which is... it's not great. It's not great. Actually, no, it is nearer 3 weeks. It's not great. But it is what it is. The real downside is that the weekend following is when I wanted to go camping. I wanted to do well, I've got a camping trip. I might end up doing it on the NC. It depends what's up with the Sprint. And there's nothing wrong with me doing the trip on the NC, but yeah, I wanted to get some practice in on the Sprint, you know, sort of packing everything in, and I suppose I could do that still with the boxes and whatnot in the front room or the back room or whatever. Not quite the same. I suppose whilst I got it in the backyard, I got to practice packing it down. But yeah, but I actually wanted to go camping and actually realise how things can be done better. I've got that weekend, and then the weekend following I was going to do some camping, and then basically I've got no spare weekends until the Wild Bad Weekender. Which is when I want to ride the Sprint down to do some more camping. So, I mean, the bike should be ready by then. There shouldn't be any reason for it not being ready. But, yeah, I wanted to get some camping in before then. It is what it is, though. Hopefully for at least the second weekend, but I'm hoping for that first weekend there will be Sprint camping action. And then, of course, I wanted to go into Europe. Oh, that's another subject. Yeah, because of the cost of this, I might have to put on hold a trip to Europe and go somewhere a bit more local. We shall see. We shall see how it works out. Yeah, you just stop there. It's fine. I have a video coming up that will, yeah, start to hit on things like that. Anyway, yeah, so there is that. Where was I? Had I finished on the Sprint? I think I had. Yeah, so European trip, it might have to be somewhere a bit more local during the summer. We'll see how far money will stretch. What else have we had happen? Oh, yes, so the problems with the camera have led to something being bought. Well, actually, no, that's not quite true. Something was going to be bought anyway, but yes, things are in works, and there'll be a video on that coming up. Jolly exciting, not massively, but it's a step forward, I think, for the footage and whatnot. I'm not just getting a replacement camera. Oh, what lovely back roads. Will it be quicker than the traffic lights? Who knows? Who knows? Doesn't look like it. Not today. Anything else that I can think of? No, I don't think so. By Jove. Well, in that case, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, knights and knightesses, I guess. Ladies, I suppose. No, we've had ladies. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, going slowly crazy day by day. Yes, we'll call that for the video, I think. I shall see you in the next video, whenever that is. Who knows? Could be any time, probably next week. Same bat time, same bat place. I don't remember that. Some of the older people will remember that. Until next time, be good humans. Ta-ta for now. Dooby 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 quack quack. Why is truck waiting? Why were you waiting?